Hey everybody, I have a message here for someone that is trying to expand their spiritual gifts or, go farther than they ever have. So in the very beginning when I connected, I was outside like a building. I was in the dark and there was a door there. And I was just standing waiting to be left in. And a faint light came on above it, kind of like someone would turn their outside house light on. And then the door opened and I walked in. There was no one there, but I felt like I was in this holding room and I couldn't see where the walls began or the floor, where the transitions were because there was this pattern, on the floor, the walls, the ceiling, everywhere. And it was a white and black pattern, almost, I don't know what it's called, but like in elementary school, we had to make these patterns. Like, let's say I drew something and then that would just repeat down on an angle and then they would connect. It would fill the whole page up. I don't know what it's called. If you know, let me know. But it also kind of reminded me of a long time ago. I'd have this dream, and this individual, his face was a white and black pattern. It wasn't the same pattern, but he was always trying to attack me. And then one time, he was chasing me, with a device that would inflict pain, obviously. And like his arms were like barely moving or like moving like this, but he was running really fast. And when he went to, make an attack, I woke up and all I could see was like a pattern like that, but that was all I could see, but it was like golden black. Regardless, that was off track. So anyway, I'm in this holding room, and again, there's this pattern I can't see. It's just everything because you can't see any transitions, 90-degree angles, anything. And then I just like was pushed back, and it felt like I had really long hair, like it was like blowing, and I was being sucked out. I actually went down like a tube or like a wormhole type deal, and then I kind of appeared in a place that if you ever heard the Admiral Byrd or Beard story of kind of his experience when he, I forget what that area was called, but when he left Antarctica, how it was explained in the story, really, it felt like that. It was a utopia. It was really nice. And what I got from that, through this whole experience before I pulled cards was, we're trying to go somewhere new. We're trying to go farther than we have, or we feel like we've done enough internal work that we're granted permission to move forward or to utilize more of our gifts, or they've just come online and we're wondering, why. So if we just look at the door, I pulled a card on the door, the first door when I was outside. Queen of Wands reversed, excessive control. This is, I mean, I've heard this so many times on my journey, and of course, I'm always trying to further expand as well. Aren't we all? And the majority of the time, we're being told that it's us, which is very well true because we have placed limitations on the experience. It's very hard to, look at what we're experiencing in this world and then be able to see that it's possible to go farther, or we can believe it or imagine it, but do we have the reassurance that we're there or that we're capable of it? It's very difficult to let go of that. I also wrote down yeah, confidence needs reassurance, that are we doing this right? What is holding me back? And it obviously would lead to frustration, especially if we've done like a lot of internal healing and we think, okay, like everything's out of the way, and then to hear, oh, you got more to do, it's really annoying. Like, I get that. Ace of Wands reversed, block. Could be an internal block, a delay. This was for the holding room. So like the door opened and I got in. It's like, okay, great, I got passage. And now I'm stuck in this holding room. What's going on in there? And if we looked at the designs and everything as like sacred geometry, like a code, excuse me, you know, these codes are people that focus on codes are, it's an initiation. it's DNA, it's all these kind of things coming online. That transition can't just be like that. Our body wouldn't be able to handle it. Our vessel, if we're changing our vibration that much, or we are, increasing these gifts that can put you into psychosis. If it goes too quick, we need to adjust. And that holding room, that delay, really adds up on the aspect that, okay, I just came online, or I'm introduced into this now. We need to adapt, and that can come in physical ailments as well, let alone mental. More shit's gonna come up from the past. More things that need purged that we didn't know, or we thought we let go of and we didn't. I then pulled a card for the location. I didn't pull anything for the tube because I just looked at that as a transition, and it was swift and it was fun. I did enjoy the ride, which not all of us can say sometimes, depending on what our journey or our experience looks like. Next card was the Hangman, New Paradigm. That card really does depict, what it was like being there. It was awesome. It was amazing. So like if you're flirting with astral travel, that experience is great. It's fun. It's exciting. But trying to get there and getting frustrated. Going back to the Hangman, I wrote down, if we're not just astral traveling, we're just trying to connect more, transmit information, or have that reassurance that somebody's saying a name, or we're hearing that a voice that's not ours. Are we just looking for wisdom, or are we, what else did I write down here? Are we looking for that reassurance? That is, what do they always, an old movie said, you know, believing is seeing. That's how the world that we live in is. We must see it. We must need proof. Science is proof. It's a way to prove something. And the other aspect of that saying is believing is seeing. Believing that we do have this ability, that we can do this. And without that reassurance, it's difficult. Like let's just say in this experience at the world that we're in, we have physical, tangible things that you work, you get money. If you build something, through that process, you are seeing it come together. If it's all in our head, like the experience is in our head, it is not tangible materially, like in a way that we can see progress or that we can experience progress, other than in ourselves, trusting, believing that we do have this ability and continuing on. It's also another way of like our view. If we see it that it can only happen this way, or this is what this person says their experiences are when they do this, and if I'm not experiencing that, I think I'm going down the wrong path, or I'm not having the same results. And when that takes place, we can obviously get depleted, feel defeated, and lose hope. I asked what we need to do, or what we can do moving forward. We had the world reversed, unfinished. I don't want to hear that. Nobody wants to hear that. That I need more work to do. And that's not really what I'm saying. It's just, I think it's obviously us holding it back. Excuse me. The other trouble is we're so close to the finish line, but we don't see it because we're not experiencing that. We don't have that reassurance. We're probably losing hope. I also wrote down, kind of already mentioned this, like releasing the outcome, releasing how it should take place. Some people that were pretty advanced, I've heard said before that, our gifts are always going to be changing our experiences. And if it was this way before, and this is what we're used to, and now like that's dwindling, like it's dying off, and we might think that we're losing our connection, when really there's a new experience or gift taking place that we have yet to see. We're not paying attention to that because we're always looking in how it was in the past. And really, like, we're being transitioned into something more powerful of an experience, and we can't see it because we're not looking at anything else other than we're focusing on what our past was like, our past experiences, because that's what we thought it was. And we thought it was going to expand around that, and it very well may not. So we could be missing it completely because we're looking at this outcome. And this is the only way. Our last card was Three of Wands, expansion. This is the way I'm seeing it is having patience. We were in the holding room. A lot's changing. We need to, give ourselves a chance to expand, especially, if it's taking a physical toll on our body. That's a lot of things that need to get up in vibration, a different frequency, and growing pains take place. I also did write down, like, knowing that we did do the work and seeing the bigger picture of things. I mean, I'm impatient. I get it. We want things a day before they come. But in this process, we do have to have patience. And again, if it is taking a toll on us physically, take the time to rejuvenate ourselves. The more we chase something, the farther it goes away. So with that, congratulations. When I kind of mentioned on looking at our old gifts and only seeing it come that way, I think opening our view to the bigger picture, it might already be here and we're missing it because we're so focused on looking at the old way that it was taking place. So, open your eyes a bit, your ears. Start looking for different synchronicities, and if you start to see that pattern, then be like, okay, well, maybe this is where I should be looking, and then that'll take you into this new paradigm, if you will. So with that, I wish everyone the best and take care.